Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa coming back at y'all with another video today, man. And as you can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I'm going to be showing y'all the top 3 best point guard builds so far in NBA 2K23. Now, I was fortunate enough to be able to get my hands on some gameplay. I'm going to go ahead and link the original video down below for each of these builds in the description. But before we get any further into this, man, I just want to go ahead and say thank you, God, for another day and opportunity. But man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Now, I would appreciate it if y'all went ahead and hit that like button. Now, let's go ahead and get into the making and talking about these 3 point guard builds. Now, I'm definitely going to go ahead and say right now, I'm going to save the most offensive heavy point guard build for number 3 on this list. So let's go ahead and get started with this first build. I'm telling you, I'm just going to go ahead and let you know right now, we're going to be able to get a 93 driving dunk. When it comes down to the shooting, this is going to be pretty solid as well, so you're not going to have to worry about that. But when it comes down to the ball handle, we're going to be able to unlock every single attribute animation. Now, when it comes down to the defensive end, we're going to be able to hold our own, but the physicals is where we're really going to be able to shine on this build. So 6'3" when it comes down to the height. If you want to, I would go anywhere from the lowest weight, or you can go ahead and base it somewhere in between. Now, for the wingspan, this is super important. I'm going to go with 6'9". 210 is pretty balanced for the weight, and 6'3" is going to wrap it up for the height. Now, let's go ahead and get started with the finishing. As you can see, we're going to have a total of 14 badges right here, but once we go ahead and make adjustments, we're going to be able to mark this up to 17. Now, once we go ahead and look at the playmaking, like I said earlier, we're going to be able to get that 97 ball handle. Now, if you max out that speed with ball, it's going to be a 93. Now, for the pass accuracy, this is super important because this year we do not have bullet passer allowed to be able to put on as a badge. So I'm going to go with an 80 pass accuracy, and I believe this is going to be the most balanced way to work around the playmaking. Now, as for everybody that's watching currently, I want to go ahead and know, what kind of build are you looking to make in NBA 2K23? Are you looking to make your own type of build, or are you going to go based off an NBA player? Now, I'm going to be real with y'all. My build that I'm going to be going for on day 1 will be a Kobe Bryant type build. I've been saying this for the longest, but let's go ahead and take a quick look at the defensive area. So this build isn't going to be the strongest out of the defense, but I'm telling you right now, the numbers for the perimeter D will be a 70, 60 for the steal, and a 44 interior. Now, like I said earlier, I'm going to remind you, the physicals are where this build is really going to shine, especially more importantly on the offensive end. Now, the shooting, like I said, one is going to be 6 feet exactly. Then when it comes down to the weight, 205, and the wingspan will be 6'9". Now, overall for this build on the badges, we're going to be able to get a total of 69, and that's really only the start, because throughout each season, we're going to be able to unlock an extra badge point as well. Now, that is only the start, because imagine, when new events come out, who knows, they may be even adding in badge point as rewards for winning certain events. Now, let's go ahead and get started with this build. As for the speed, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that you're going to be seeing builds that are going to have high speed as well as balance when it comes down to the physicals themselves. So 91 for the speed, 90 acceleration. Now for the strength, this can go up to an 80 or an 84, but eventually it's going to be brought back down to an 80. Now for the vertical, this will be a 91, and the stamina will be a 96. Now let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of the playmaking. As you can see, overall we're going to be able to get 27 badges out of this area, but for the speed with ball and ball handle itself, both of these stats will be 90 and an 84 when it comes down to the pass accuracy. Now, when it comes down to the shooting on this build, in my opinion, it's going to be much more of a well-rounded build compared to being super overpowered in one area. Now, if y'all remember those builds from previous 2Ks, I believe they were called something like a well-rounded point, well-rounded guard, well-rounded wing. Then we also had the big man, which were a well-rounded 4 and a well-rounded 5. These builds going into 2K23, I believe if you try to replicate them, they're going to be some of the very best builds that we're going to be seeing all year. Now, when it comes down to this one, we have everything that we need when it comes down to the shooting and playmaking. As you can see, the defensive area is really shaping out to be pretty solid. We're going to go with a 91 perimeter defense. Then for the steal, this will be a 62. But as for the main stat, the perimeter defense, as long as you upgrade that, that's the #1 thing that I was trying to focus on with this build, as far as posting it for y'all and showing y'all builds because there's other point guard builds out there right now, but again, I wanted to show you the top 3 and what I feel like is going to be a good setup to start with. Now, come day 1, I want to be sure that all of my supporters have a guide for each position. So right now, I'm starting with the point guards, but best believe throughout the year, I'm going to get y'all right with the shooting guards, the small forwards, power forwards, and even the centers. Now, to wrap this build up, what you want to go ahead and do is throw the rest into your free throw, and you're going to be set to go. Now, the final thing that we need to check out here will be the takeovers, and need to keep in mind as well, we're going to be able to get a plus 10 towards any area of this build that we're picking our takeovers for. Shot creating takeover, sharp shooting, and the playmaking. Now let's go ahead and check out the build name, and again, I have to remind y'all, this loading screen for the Shades of is super dope how they upgraded it. Now let's go ahead and check out what we created together, and as you can see, we have made the 2-way shot creator build. Now I have one final build on this list, and to those of y'all who were listening from the beginning, this is the offensive heavy 5'11" point guard build. So as you can see, we have everything that we need out of the finishing, but we're going to be able to get a 90 3-pointer. Then for the mid-range, this will be a 76. Free throw, we're not too worried about that, but we're going to be able to take this build into any game mode. Now, we have a 99 ball handle and a 92 speed with ball. As for the playmaking side, we have everything that we need, but for total badge count, we have 67. Now for these takeovers, remember, you're getting a plus 10 towards whichever area you decide to go with. Now, my main thing that I did want to focus on was going with that 92 acceleration and an 82 speed, 99 when it comes down to the stamina, and this is going to be a perfect setup to start with. Now you can always make sure that you make your own changes on the defensive area if you want to. This is just to make the all-around best offensive build, and we get Damian Lillard and Trae Young, which is a pretty good comparison. And as you can see, we have created the 3-point shot creator point guard build. Now again, to those of y'all who made it to the end, thank you so much for your support. And you know, I just want to go ahead and say thank you, God, for this day and opportunity. But man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Now turn on post notifications to be on board with the Rich family. And don't forget to hit that like button and comment down below if you tuned in from a different country, city, or state. Let me know right now. But with all that being said, Rich out.